I am super excited about this upcoming free agency class. There are going to be lots of impact players, and with all the parity that we're currently seeing in the NBA, I think that this free agency class is going to bring some changes to the league's landscape. In today's video, I'm telling you where 5 of the NBA's top free agent point guards should sign. How's it going, everybody? This is Troy, Half Court Report YouTube channel. Hey, thanks for sticking with me on today's video. I haven't posted in a little over a week. Been going through some life changes. And due to these life changes, my schedule is a little different, but have no fear. I will continue to post consistently about anything and everything NBA. And today, talking about free agency and some of the top NBA point guards that are going to be free agents and where they should sign for next season. If it's your first time here, would love if you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video. Really helps me out. Please and thank you. Okay, let's get into it. The first guy that we are talking about, Kyle Lowry, point guard of the Toronto Raptors. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent this offseason. Lowry, of course, he's going to go down probably the greatest Raptor in franchise history. So it's going to be kind of strange to see him on a new team next year, but I think that is the direction we are headed, and I think that even Raptors fans now have come to terms with Lowry's eventual departure. So where could Kyle Lowry end up? Well, there are a few options. The Philadelphia 76ers, they have been lurking as a landing spot for quite some time. Lowry, of course, he is a native of Philadelphia. I think he would fill a need for that Doc Rivers team as a high-level half-court shot creator. The Miami Heat, another option for his services. Kyle Lowry, close friends with Jimmy Butler, who, of course, the star of the Miami Heat. So when you can keep your best player happy and also get a player of Lowry's caliber, that's something that you should consider doing. Also, would not be surprised to see Kyle Lowry join the Lakers. He, of course, would help LeBron and Anthony Davis, maybe a new big three. I think they would have to move some money around to get him there and give him the type of contract that he wants. But I think that would be easier to do, especially if the Lakers end up losing this next guy, and that is Dennis Schroder, who is currently the starting point guard for the Lakers. He's going to be in a class all his own this offseason because he's essentially the only unrestricted mid-20s starting caliber point guard that's on the market, and that's a really valuable player to be. The Lakers do want to bring him back. They offered him an $84 million extension, which Schroder said, you know what, I think I'm going to try my luck in free agency. He has shown this season that he's more than just that sixth man role that he had with the Oklahoma City Thunder over the last couple of years. So I think we could see him re-signing with the Lakers, since there's that interest and there's that comfort there between the two sides. But I also would like to see what Dennis Schroder looks like on the Mavericks. This is a team that needs players to stretch the floor around Luka Doncic. I also like Schroder's grit and toughness. I think the Mavericks could definitely use that. He could start for them. He could come off the bench. Finally, what about the Golden State Warriors? You'd probably have to trade away Andrew Wiggins somehow to make the money work and for them to give Schroder the type of contract he wants. But I like this situation for him. He could play the roles of starter. He could come off the bench as one of the best bench players in the league with the Warriors. And as we've seen with the Warriors, their bench this season has been one of their biggest weaknesses. Schroder could definitely help that. Wherever he goes, he is going to get a big deal in free agency. And speaking of big deals, what about Mike Conley, the conductor, Mountain Mike, point guard of the Utah Jazz? He really turned a corner in his second year with Utah. First-time All-Star, leading a team that has the best record in the NBA. His efficiency and advanced stats are top-notch. Career best effective field goal percentage, dominant defensive rating for one of the NBA's best defenses. And the Jazz are 15 points per 100 possessions better when Conley is on the floor. It would be a pain for Utah to lose him, but where could he go? I do think all signs point to him re-signing with Utah. The fit is really good from a basketball and a culture standpoint, But in a scenario where Mike Conley does skip town, I think another option would be the San Antonio Spurs. Again, would be a great culture fit, and if they re-sign DeMar DeRozan, maybe a couple more free agents, get some internal improvement from guys like Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker, DeJounte Murray, I think they could challenge for a deep playoff run. Another probably unlikely option, I think, would be the Boston Celtics, but I would love to see Conley in Boston. I think if the rumors about the Celtics looking to move on from Kemba Walker actually happen, and if they're true, then having Conley as his replacement would be a really solid move. I think Utah still is going to be the likeliest option, but it is fun to see what's out there with Mike Conley. And next up, we've got a restricted free agent in Lonzo Ball. So why would the New Orleans Pelicans let Lonzo Ball walk when he's in the midst of probably the best basketball of his career? Well, it comes down to money, his fit with New Orleans, and if he's in the Pelicans' long-term plans. Lonzo is looking to earn about $20 million a year annually. And that may seem like maybe a bit much for a player who isn't a primary shot creator, but there are some who say the Pelicans have really unlocked Lonzo's ideal role in the NBA as a lead playmaker, a guy who plays solid defense, a guy who hits the three, somebody who rebounds and can really play off the bigger stars on the team. He also brings some needed consistency to this Pelicans team. I think there's a good chance that New Orleans re-signs Lonzo, if anything, to parlay him down the line into a trade for another player. But I think there is a legit interest also with the Chicago Bulls. I think Lonzo would give Chicago a legit playmaker to put along the more scoring guards of Zach LaVine and Kobe White. I don't see Chicago making the playoffs this year, and they're going to lose their lottery pick to Orlando due to the Vucevic trade. So they're going to have to add some guys to that team in free agency. Lonzo Ball is a good one. I think the Knicks are also an option. Again, let him play off the stars, and RJ Barrett and Julius Randle would give the Knicks a legit playmaker. Tom Thibodeau loves defensive-minded players, so he would fit in well in that regard. Would be one of the best free agents for New York since Amari Stoudemire. And what about Chris Paul, starting point guard for the Phoenix Suns? This guy never slows down. So the question is, will Chris Paul pick up his player option? Remember, he is owed $44 million next season, and he's getting on up there in age in basketball terms. But maybe there's something in the back of his mind where he's thinking, you know, I feel like I could turn down this player option, maybe sign for 3 or 4 more years at around $20 million. Because, I mean, face it, Chris Paul is as good as ever. He is playing for one of the top 5 teams in the NBA. Suns are one of the best teams in the league right now. Paul is the main reason for that. My thoughts, he's going to roll the dice next year with Phoenix and see if he can parlay another good year into that final contract with Phoenix or elsewhere. But if for some reason he decides to bolt the Valley of the Suns, would not rule out either of the New York teams. So check out Brooklyn. I think he would fit in well with the Nets because I don't know how sustainable Kyrie Irving is in Brooklyn. Probably not likely to happen, but you know, I think Chris Paul would be a better fit there, especially with Steve Nash as the coach, and if the Nets are looking for a deep playoff run. Then again, with the Knicks, they'd be a good fit. Paul brings that veteran leadership that this team desperately needs. I think he could bring them into a top 3 seed for the playoffs in the Eastern Conference next year. Guys, that's what I think, but let me know in the comments what you think of these potential free agency moves. Who do you want to see and where do you want to see them go? Do you want any of these guys on your team? If it's your first time here, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like this video so you never miss NBA content that I've got going on all the time. Make sure you check out the boxes on the screen. It really helps in supporting the channel and helping to grow the channel. I will catch you next time with another NBA video. Going to go through all the positions. Today was point guards. Going to go through all the free agency positions and even some more free agency videos down the line. Thanks, everybody. I'll catch you next time. This is Troy with the Half Court Report.